Welcome again, guys, to my channel. Today I want to solve this math challenge. You say simplify, open bracket, 4 divided by 3 close bracket to the power of 4 divided by 3 equals to what? So we want to simplify this without the use of calculator. So if you are new here, kindly subscribe to this channel and don't forget to turn on the notification button so that you get notified whenever I drop videos on mathematics. So let's provide a solution to this. So say solution. Okay, you write the question which says 4 over 3 to the power of 4 over 3. Okay, from here, from this point, we are going to apply a basic mathematical rule which says we are having a over b to the power of c over d is equals to a to the power of c over b to the power of c or to the power of 1 over d. So we should put this principle here. We simply have this to be 4 to the power of 4 over 3 to the power of 4 or to the power of 1 over 3. Okay, since we've done this, so 4 to the power of 4 is same as 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, and 4 times 4 is going to give us 16, and 16 times 4 is going to give us 64, and 64 times 4 is going to give us 256. So from here we are having 256 over 3 to the power of 4 is same as 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, and 3 times 3 is going to give us 9, and 9 times 3 is going to give us 27, and 27 times 3 is going to give us 81. So we write 81 here, 81 or to the power of 1 over 3. Okay, since we've done this, what then is the next step? Okay, from here we are going to apply another principle which says if we are having a over b, okay, or to the power of 1 over c is same, it's also equals to the root or the c root of a over b. So if you put this principle, the whole of this principle here, which is also equals to the cube root of 256, okay, 256 over 81. So we are now having the cube root of 256 over 81. Okay, so we've done this, we are going to apply another rule which says if you're having the nth root of a over b is also equals to the nth root of a over the nth root of b. So if we put this principle here, we have this, can write this as the cube root of 256, okay, over the cube root of 81, okay. So this is what we are now having. So from here, from this point, we are going to apply a rule which says we are having 1 over the nth root of a is equals to 1 over the nth root of a times the nth root of a to the power of n minus 1 over the nth root of a to the power of n minus 1. So 1 all over the nth root of a is equals to 1 all over the nth root of a times the nth root of a to the power of n minus 1 over the nth root of a to the power of n minus 1. So if we put this, the whole of this principle at this denominator, we simply have this to be the cube root of 256 over the cube root of 81 is equals to the cube root of 256, okay, 256 over the cube root of 81 times cube root of 81 times the cube root of 81 to the power of 3 minus 1, okay, over the cube root of 81 to the power of 3 minus 1. So this is what we are not having. This is what we are not having. So what then is the next step? So the next thing to do is to 3 minus 1. We are going to subtract. So from here, which implies we are having the cube root of 256 over the cube root of 81 times the cube root of 81 to the power of 2 over the cube root of 81 to the power of 2. So this is what we are not having. So from this, at this denominator, we are going to apply a simple rule. We are going to apply a rule which says if you are having the nth root of a, okay, the nth root of a times the nth root of a is also equals to the whole of the nth root of a to the power of 1 plus 1, because both of them are having an exponent of 1. So take the whole of the nth root, okay, all to the power of a to the power of 1 plus 1, which is also equals to the nth root of a to the power of 2. So if we put this principle at this denominator, we have this to be the cube root of 256, okay, times the cube root of 81 to the power of 2, okay, divide by all the cube root of 81 to the power of 1 plus 2, right? 1 plus 2, because this one is having 2 and this one is having 1. So we are not having the cube root of 256 times the cube root of 81 to the power of 2 over the cube root of 81 to the power of 1 plus 2. So let's solve further. Okay, since we are not having this, we are not having the cube root of 256 times the cube root of 81 to the power of 2 over the cube root of 81 to the power of 1 plus 2. So what are we simply going to do from here? So we are going to have this to be the cube root of 256, okay, times the cube root of 81 square, okay, or divided by the cube root of 81. So 1 plus 1 is going to give us what? It's going to give 1 plus 2 rather is going to give us what? 3. Okay, so this is what we are not having. Okay, from here we are going to apply a rule which says the nth root of a to the power of n is also equals to a, because this nth root will cancel. This n will cancel this nth root. So if we put this principle here, we're having 3 here, So simply have this to be cube roots of 256. We're having a cube root here, cube root of 256 times the cube root of 81 all square, okay, divide by, so this and this will go, we are left with what? 81. Okay, so we've done this. Let's work on this because this one is looking somehow complex. If we are having the cube root of, or the nth root rather, the nth root of a to the power of 3 is also equals to the nth root of a times the nth root of a to the power of 2. So if you're having the nth root of a to the power of 3 is also equals to the nth root of a times the nth root of a to the power of 2. So if we put this principle here, we can say the cube root of 81 to the power of 2 is equals to, rather, the cube root of 81 to the power of 2 is equals to the cube root of 81 times the cube root of 81. Okay, the cube root of 81. And recall, my 81 is equals to 27 times 3. Okay, so wherever I see 81, I can put 27 times 3. So I can say the cube root of 27 times 3 times, do the same thing here, the cube root of 27 times 3. Okay, so this is what I'm now having. So the cube root of 81 times the cube root of 81 is equals to the cube root of 27 times 3 times the cube root of 27 times 3. Okay, so from here we are going to apply a principle which says the nth root of a times b is equals to the nth root of a times the nth root of b. So if we put this principle, the whole of this principle here and here, we have this to be the cube root of 27 times the cube root of 3 times the cube root of 27 times the cube root of 3. Okay, so the cube root of 27 is same as, recall, we can raise 27 to be in power of 3, so we can have this to be the cube root, cube root of 3 to the power of 3, okay, times the cube root of 3 times, do the same thing here, cube root of 3 to the power of 3, okay, do the same thing here, times the cube root of 3. Having this, the cube root of this will go with this, so this one we are left with what, 3 here, times the cube root of 3, okay, times this one will go 3, okay, times the cube root of 3. Okay, so we've done this, this and this will multiply each other, then we're now having 9, then this and this will multiply each other, we're now having times the cube root of 9. So from here, which is also equals to 9 times the cube root of 9. So this is the cube root of 9. So in other words, the cube root of 81 to the power of 2 is also equals to 9 times the cube root of 9. So the cube root of 81 to the power of 2 is also equals to 9 times the cube root of 9. Okay, so we've done this, recall our main problem is we are having the cube root of 256 times the cube root of 81 to the power of 2 over 81. Okay, so this is what we are now having, 81. We are now having 81 here. Okay, so we've done this. We said the whole of this is equals to this. So we can write further by saying the cube root of 256 times 9 times the cube root of 9 over 81. over 81. So from this numerator, we are going to apply a rule which says the nth root of A times nth root of B is also equals to the nth root of A times B. So if we apply this rule at this numerator, we have this to be the cube root of 256 times 9 or times 9 over 81. Okay, so this is what we are now having. So we say 9 here 1, 9 here is going to give us what? 9. So if we multiply 256 times 9 is equals to the cube root of 256 times 9 over 9, because we divide 9 here, 9 here is going to give us 9 over 9. Having the whole of this, we are having the whole of this, we are not having the whole of this. So 256 times 9 is going to give us 2,304. So from here we can say, which is also equals to the cube root of 2,304 over 9. So this is the lowest simplification. So therefore 4 over 3 or to the power of 4 over 3 is equals to the cube root of 2,304 over 9. So if you find this video useful and interesting, please click on the subscription button and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I drop videos on mathematics. Please hit on the thumbs up button. Bye for now. God bless you. Jesus loves you, and see you in my subsequent video. Bye bye.